Welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Deveci, your host. I'm welcoming you, episode 135. We are in season 5 in the American Business Podcast. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. Code of the day. As you know, we have a great partnership with missionstatements.com. And here is the code of the day. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. Today's number is 4. This is how many attendees we had in the latest Connection America Business and Industry Alliance Podcasting plus Networking online business event that took place last week. As you know, we have Podcasting plus Networking online business networking event every month. And the next one is scheduled also for February 27 this month. I hope you join us. Great. Well, we have a special guest in the American Business Podcast today. I am going to invite our guest to our virtual stage and we'll get the conversation started. Let's invite our guest to our stage. All right. Okay, perfect. Hello, Stefan. Welcome to the American Business Podcast.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Of course, pleasure is all mine. Very nice meeting you in the American Business Podcast. How are you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was mixed. I think I mentioned I recently moved to Hawaii and we're looking for a house. And they have a culture here of open houses on a Sunday afternoon. So I got to follow my wife around houses, which for me was about as, I don't know, problematic as going cell shopping or something. I'm not...
Yes, it's quite a task, I can imagine.
Yeah. So that was my Sunday afternoon. The rest of it was great.
Okay, yeah, this is good. This is good. Yes, thank you for joining us in the beginning of the week. And well, if that's okay, we can get our conversation started. We have a lot to learn from you today. We are all ears, very curious about the organization, your organization, about your professional background as well. Well, as a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our viewers and to our listeners?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Stephen King. An easy name to remember, but also a little bit of a curse. It turns out I recently wrote a book that we'll talk about, but I had to change my name for that to S.J. King, so as not to confuse people. And I grew up in England, moved to America, had a great career in high-tech video, networking, etc., and have spent the latter part of my life trying to understand what I'll call somewhat pompously the secret of success. And that took me on a journey to get a PhD in mythology and depth psychology. I went to Wharton, etc., etc. And that's turned into, I was a professor of business. And now I'm founding a company called Apex CEO Coaching. And we focus on coaching, not consulting, with CEOs around the world.
Yeah, this is a very important mission.
Yeah.
How about your career journey? How did you get started? How your career journey has unfolded over the years?
When I look back on my career journey, it's kind of interesting to what I teach people now, which I never really planned in the sense of step 1, step 2, step 3. So I went to university, went to the London School of Economics and got a degree in statistics and economics. So I was going to become an actuary, which would have taken me 5 or 6 years to study. And I discovered if I became a software engineer, I could make as much as an actuary immediately. So I became a software engineer. So that's part of what I mean by not really planning in that way. And I grew up in software engineering. I ended up running the Middle East and Africa for a company called Tektronix, living on the island of Guernsey. I had 2 passports from the British government. because at the time you couldn't go to Israel and the Middle East and black and white Africa, so you had to keep switching passports as you traveled around. And that then the company said, why don't you come to America and teach other people sales training how to do what you do, which is I had some good results. And so I said, fine. I had no idea. I traveled a lot, but not really to America. And all I really knew was like TV shows. And it turned out I went to Oregon, and which is where Tektronix was headquartered at the time. And I remember, Kevin, getting off the plane, and people at the airport were dressed in cowboy gear, cowboy hats, cowboy boots. And I thought it was dress up day or something. I was like, that was my first kind of culture shock, indoctrination, if you like. And so I joined Tektronix in sales training, and I ended up running their European organization in Munich, went back, became their head of marketing, started a business unit for them, and that all went very well. And then I decided I was playing in the second division, to use a soccer analogy. And the first division was going on south of me in Silicon Valley, right? And so I joined a startup called iMedia, which was in the video transcoding space, bunch of MIT guys and me kind of thing. And we grew that and sold it for $104 million to a company called Terion. And Terion had invented the cable modem, which is commonplace now, but that. So I went there and I ran their cable business and took that from 90 to 270 to almost $500 million in 3 years. We ended up with an $8 billion market cap on NASDAQ. So this is the, classic Silicon Valley journey. It fell apart in the 2008 downturn, frankly. And so I then started to look at helping others do startups, helping others grow companies. And I did a turnaround in a company called Merit. It was losing $6 million a month and sold it for $400 million after reversing that profit trend. Ended up probably hiring 180 people out of, and we went from 800 to 600 at that same time. So that's like a decrease of 400 and replaced 180. And then I've been on the side, because I've had really a parallel life, while growing businesses, helping founders, coaching. I mentioned this secret of business thing, and what I discovered while I was running Europe was we were being successful. All of my reports went to the sales incentive program and all the rest of it, but I couldn't put my finger on the why. Nothing from Wharton seemed to apply to that success. I did supply chain, finance, all the rest of it. And so I came up with, really, it was in the area of purpose, potential, and passion. Those would be my 3 Ps. And how to instill that in your team really was what made the difference. And I wasn't really happy with that because I wanted to get to the how. And that took me on a journey through neuro-linguistic programming and looking at religions, all sorts of things. So nothing in the business world, all outside of the business world, reflecting back. And I got a PhD in mythology and depth psychology, and then became a professor on the side, so a part-time professor in organizational wisdom. And so that's taken me to a move to Hawaii, coaching and writing and speaking. So
yeah, that's quite a journey. Yes.
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
But not planned. I never said growing up in Bristol, I'm going to end up in Hawaii, or I never had that. And it's interesting, Kevin, because my students often say, I remember one conversation with a student who was 1 year through his MBA. This is at the University of Oregon. And he said, my company wants to transfer me to Paris, but I need to finish my MBA. Maybe I think I should wait, get my MBA. And I was like, you're crazy. I think part of the secret here is when events come up, when life, gives you opportunities, you need to have the confidence to step into. And that's really the story of my life. And I'm hoping he did that, because otherwise I'm sure he never got it again.
Mhm.
Right. So that's how that's how I sort of lived my life.
What is the secret of your success?
I'm just an all-round great guy. No, the secret of success. I think, uh, well, first of all, I was actually fairly successful young, and I used to believe that that success became from demanding loyalty, understanding everything that was going on, and expecting people to do what I told them. And what I've learned is all three of those are wrong. That in fact, you need to work with people, not over them, almost in a servant-based leadership way. And you need to understand their values in order for them to be fully motivated. I don't think there's any other secret to motivation. You've got to take the time to understand people. And so most of my success, frankly, has come through other people, hiring people, bringing them on board. If I had one skill myself outside of people, it would be seeing what others miss, particularly opportunities in the marketplace, and even seeing it with individuals, with people. Wait a minute, no, why is nobody hiring this person? This person would be great in this culture, etc. So I'd say probably those two things, and you could put it under different names and banners, creativity. There's a whole bunch of things, but those would be the essence of it. I think people like working with me, actually, and that would and I think I bring value to them, and I bring value to the business through those two things.
So, how would you define the state of your industry nowadays?
Coaching.
Coaching, professional services in a way.
Yeah, so coaching is character. Well, most people get consulting and coaching confused.
Okay.
So consulting would be like the McKinsey, come in, come up with a new process, write it up for you, charge you $1 million, right? That's McKinsey. What we do and other coaches do is we come in and we work with you as an individual and work with your business. How Apex differs is we work with you, human, and you, business leader. And so let's say you have an issue with succession planning in a family-run business. That's a huge human issue, right? There's also a business issue. Does the person have the skills, all the kind of practical stuff? And so I think that's how we differentiate ourselves, and at the human level, at the culture level, as opposed to building your strategic plan for you. And our process is 4 1-hour calls, so 1-hour call a week. There's a lot of background information that's not intrusive. We find most CEOs, that's all they really can put in. And so that's where we fit. I think the demand, we're seeing big demand for CEO groups, peer groups, for instance. And I think the demand for this is growing and growing. I think, in our pre-call, Kevin, you mentioned the sort of lonely CEO notion. And we're that sounding board. We can bring the ex-CEO, ex-head of engineering is one of our coaches from Boeing, for instance. We can bring that level of expertise and wisdom to bear on their company.
Yes, that's an important service. And what is your vision for your company's future?
Well, it kind of, maybe I should talk about my vision for me and then the company, right? Because those kind of go hand in hand. And, so my vision for me is I now, in this part of my life, I want to bring the two parts of my life together that were previously, separate. So the coaching, the writing, the speaking, the professor stuff, and they're running a business and starting a business. And so I've been teaching on the one hand and investing and helping companies found and all the rest of it on the other hand. And I want to bring those together. So that's one. The other is I'm looking to get speaking opportunities, get the book successful and what have you, right? Because that'll also bring credibility to the coaching. I'm happy to do the coaching, but I'd rather do the matchmaking, right? So we have person A. I understand I'm going to say it maybe a bit too, their archetype, their story. I have tools for that. I actually have a startup that I'm founding that does archetypal analysis, for free actually, and then pair that with. So think about it as Myers-Briggs for the modern world. Then pair that with the client to make sure that the client gets the best coaching that we could give them. That is unbounded if you think about it, right? So because we don't have a cash issue because we don't retain our coaches. So the coaches are on the books. They get, I think it's 40%, I think, of whatever the gate is, so to speak. And so we can scale this without cash. We can grow the business. And we have a guy, Ricky, who I think you may have talked to, and his job is to bring the clients in the door.
Yes.
So that's how we scale it. It's very simple, but I think
sounds very scalable.
Well, I used
Sounds
to do a lot
very
of work
scalable.
with Ashoka, which is a social entrepreneurial organization in Washington, D.C., and it's the world's largest. And they would have people come on board and start these world-shattering ideas, right? Because I don't know if you know how Ashoka works. They come on board, and Ashoka simply gives them 3 years of pay, right? And but they always struggled to scale it. So then I would consult with them on how to do that. And so I've become very sensitive to that as being a big breaking point. You can start off with a great idea, and simply throwing VC money at it, to me, is not. You give up a lot of the company. It's very, it's tough. And frankly, more often than not, you're bringing in opinions that you may or may not want.
Okay, well, let's talk about a popular subject, that is AI. What is your take on the impact of AI on business nowadays, based on your professional experience and observation?
Well, that's an interesting question. If you go to my personal site is called Surfacing Wisdom. And if you go to Surfacing Wisdom at Substack, you'll find an excellent article on this topic.
I love it. Actually, just an add-on to your point, we as in the American Business Podcast, we joined Substack a couple weeks ago. So I'll make sure to take you there as well. So I really like the community there. So I'm very interested. Please, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just want to share that.
I've written 35 posts on a weekly basis and not made a penny, however. So I'll give you a little.
Oh wow, okay.
But I do have a bunch. I have over 1,000 people and stuff. So anyway, to net it out. AI for me is an extension of what we used to call information, right? And that was going to be a big savior some years ago. Was if we had enough information, the companies that had the most information would win. I don't know if you remember that. Well, what's happened is we've got stuck in analysis paralysis. We've over-analyzed the data. We've become too dependent on the data. And for me, AI in a way is an extension of that. There is absolutely no doubt that it will make people unemployed, in my mind. But there's absolutely no doubt for the ones that remain employed that they'll become more productive. However, where is discernment? What happens to confidence and conviction? What happens to dealing with complexity? Those are all human attributes, and they all fall under this word of wisdom, which is what my book is about, which is how can you deal with that as a human and not just do whatever the AI tells you. I mean, I use AI quite a lot, but it's wrong a lot of the time, hallucinates, makes mistakes. So you have to have a degree of discernment to see through that. Not that it's a bad tool, but I don't see it breaking through that. If I were to say it in one word, AI has no notion of atonement. You know what that means, and so I think it's going to continue down the current path, its trajectory, but I'm not seeing how it's going to make that change, how it's going to make that move from data to wisdom. And that's where I see it going. And I play with it a lot. I've looked at, I can compare and contrast it. I could give you my opinions on which tools are better for which, but I don't think any of that really matters. The fact is that I don't see it replacing some people, and those people are the ones that develop wisdom. And so that so you go to university, don't go to a data-centric topic, go to a wisdom-centric topic. You could figure out the difference, right? So,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Okay, well, we have a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs who are listening to us and watching us in the American Business Podcast. And the marketing is an important function for any organization. So, based on your experience and observation, what are the best marketing practices that bring the highest ROI nowadays?
Well, it's hard for me to say. I used to run marketing for a $2 billion company, and a lot of that was about generating leads, converting leads, moving them through the sales funnel, closing, training salespeople. There was that whole world. I think that's all gone. And I think that now it's all about building community, just Substack you mentioned, for instance, and getting people involved and engaging those people in discussion, for instance. I recently did a post about what's his name? Anyway, a guy did a post about Tony Robbins. Right, Tony Robbins just did a online seminar for 1 million people. Right, it's based on what's called neuro-linguistic programming. Blah blah blah. So I did a podcast about it, and I wasn't entirely complimentary, to be honest. But I then thought, well, I'll post it and I'll start using these keywords, right? And there's a whole science to that world. How do you manage Facebook? How do you cross post to Instagram? Et cetera, et cetera. And so I think that's where marketing to Facebook and others' credit or benefit has moved. It's no longer the world that I grew up in. So
yes, it's constantly evolving and changing. Okay, well, let's talk about leadership a little bit.
Okay, I'm just going to turn my phone off. I think it just went off.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so how would you define leadership, and what are the great leadership qualities a good leader must have?
I liked an old definition that contrasted management to leadership. I think it was from Harvard Business Review. And it said that management was about managing the process and leadership was about evoking the heart. My model has always been to lead from, I wouldn't say behind or in front, but from within, at the sort of peer level, to listen to people, to understand. We sort of went over that. However, I think that there's more now beyond both of those. What I call wisdom, how to build conviction, how to manage complexity. And I think there are ways to develop wisdom. So back in the day, we would talk about leadership and we would assume it was intrinsic. right? Three people are at the starting blocks, they start to run, and one will win a leadership battle because they had something. It was like, I remember this story about the stags in the field, and when a predator would come, the first one that would run, everyone would follow that person and become the leader. I don't know if that's true. But I think we're at a point where people can start to learn to be wise. And I think that if you appear as a source of wisdom, if you can see patterns, and I can talk about some examples of that. I'll give you one quickly. Dan Wyden was a friend of mine. He formed a company called Wyden and Kennedy, became the biggest independent ad agency in the world, several $1 billion. Dan was a writer. That was what he did. And but people would say that he could walk into a room, no matter what the topic, and be able to distill it down. Finance. Here's what the challenge is. Here's what we need to be working on. That's the skill. I think that skill can be developed. I also think that things like decision making need to be reworked. It's not about if somebody comes to you and says, I need you to make a decision, you could argue that leadership is to say, okay, here's my decision. The other side of that is, no, I'm going to push this under the carpet and we're not going to talk about it. Turns out that for 2,500 years, we've had the answer to that question. And it goes back to Heraclitus. And what he said was, harmony is the tension of opposites. We can see it in every musical instrument, for instance. And what does that mean in business for decision making? It means hold the tension. Don't put it under the carpet. Don't jump in and make it. Hold it, and you'll be surprised that the answer will emerge. So I think we're seeing new ideas along those kind of lines. Competence is another one for me. Competence, a lot of us think it's about having a plan and knowing what the outcome's going to be. That's what we do. But I think where confidence needs to get reframed is more from orchestra towards jazz, right? Where you have people doing stuff around you, and your confidence isn't in knowing the answer. It's in knowing that you can react no matter what the situation serves up for you, right? And so you start to put pattern reading, participate in the world, don't escape it, holding the paradox, taking the step into and reframing your confidence, and it starts to become a circle. And it starts to become wisdom. It's what I call deep knowing. That circle reinforces itself. And once you can start to see patterns in particular, leadership is not the right word, unfortunately, because leadership has got a military notion, and military is let me get out in front. And we've tried to reframe it as servant-based leadership. I don't think the future is about management or leadership. I think those are skills that you can hire. I think it's about being seen as wise and having insight.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yes, we had a similar conversation with one of our guests in the past as well, and the importance of leadership is very is critical for any organization. There is no doubt about it. Okay.
I think it's getting redefined.
Yes.
So we've got to be careful with language. With my students, I used to do a test, and I would form them into groups.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, okay, well, now your group needs to pick a leader, right?
Yes.
So I want everyone to stand up that wants to be the leader, right? And then we're not going to go home until there's only one of you left. You have to sit down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I mean, because it gets to picking in the reverse way that we normally do. But what was interesting at the end of that, Kevin, was we would say, well, why did you even want that?
Mm-hmm.
If I called it admin or secretary,
yes,
which is really what the job was. So we've got to be cautious with that word, because people sit there and go, I need to be a leader. And in fact, I think you need to go deeper into that question.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, it's good that we discuss it. Okay, well, sounds good. Let's talk about your role models. Have you had any role models? any mentors who help you shape your career journey over the years?
My career journey. Yeah, there's been two, probably, both of whom I worked for twice. And I hate working for somebody I don't respect. So you can tell how many of those were, and these two were the exception. And I really, they would listen. They wouldn't always do what you suggested, but they would listen. They would discuss. They would debate. And one of them in particular, Jerry, was really good at what I talked about in terms of holding the tension. So we get into a staff meeting, and he would recap what happened and what we needed to work on. But he would never say, and here's what we're going to do. Because the moment you do that, you're disenfranchising somebody, right? And he did a great job of working through that. So I'd say that those would be the two.
Key career lesson. If there is one key career lesson that you learned the hard way, what would it be that you can share with us?
I think for me there's two. Did I mention the early, Matt? Yeah. So the first one is the idea that understanding everything's going on. The classic, what you need to do as a leadership is flawed. The other was, I remember running this company, and people, men and women, would come up to me and tell me they love me. And I know this sounds, and I didn't deal with that very well. I actually don't. It's something to do with my upbringing, but I don't actually deal with compliments very well. But I didn't deal with that very well. I felt like it was too much responsibility, because that dialogue meant I need to take care of it. I needed to. And so I think learning how to handle relationship, love, I'm going to use that word, versus power in the workplace, and not take it on as a level of personal responsibility was a big lesson for me. Just, it is. I'm happy for it, but I'm not going to take it on in terms of needing to take responsibility for those people's personal lives in particular.
What are your interests outside of work?
Well, I think there's a couple of ways of saying that. One is, I don't believe in the work-life balance. I think that the whole notion, on one side of a scale, you have weight for your life, and the other side, you have weight for your work, just feels weighed down, right, on both sides. And the only way you balance it is by putting more weight on the other side. So I try to live in a very integrated way. So after this, I may go out to lunch. I'm very, and so my passion is around mythology and story, and a little anal, I suppose. And I've taken on, where I lived before was by a ski resort, so I used to ski a lot. And now I've taken on golf to replace that, which is classic, I suppose. But being in Hawaii is interesting, because when you're not here on holiday, on vacation, you don't go to the beach as much. I remember I lived in London. I never went to the Tower of London. So it's sort of a little ironic that we're in Hawaii and I'm not saying surfing or something, or beach, or but I do like it here, but not for that reason. I like it here because of the mythology, frankly, because of the story, because of the culture.
Yes. What part of Hawaii are you at?
Well, right now we're in Honolulu. We're in East Honolulu.
Okay.
And we're trying to decide where we want to end up.
I see. Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Coming back to where we started, Kevin.
Yes.
The reason I'm here is because my daughter goes to boarding school on the Big Island.
I see. Okay.
So we decided we wanted to live close enough where she didn't have to change flights somewhere. So that meant San Francisco, LA, Seattle, or something. And then my wife said, "What about Honolulu?" I said, "Fine." So here we are. So again, it wasn't like premeditated. It was, but it works out. I'm here. So.
That's great. Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, that's good. Well, I'm sure you like this question. So, if you had a chance to go back history, personally or historically, to what time period would you like to go back and why?
Well, the why is harder. I've often thought about, meditated on that question. I don't know why. And what comes up for me is the 1920s. Now, the why, I it's hard for me. It seems like it was a happy time. It came after the First World War. How are you not going to be happy, right? It's kind of like that contrast. So it came
Yes.
between. So it came between the wars. The Roaring Twenties. There was a huge amount going on, lots of opportunity after the huge destruction of the First World War, and so I've always been drawn to that period. The downside is if you're younger, if you're either going to be in one of those wars, right? It's not unless you
Yeah,
only
it's
live
right in between, right?
unless
Yes.
you only live for 10 years. So that's the period I've been drawn to, but don't have a big why for it, to be honest.
Okay. Well, sometimes in business, things they don't go in our way. How to stay motivated and inspired in times of challenges in business?
Well, I think what the book is about is how to deal with complexity, and part of that complexity is dealing with your own issues, right? I think the way to stay motivated is to understand them more deeply than typically you do. You can't react to the superficial. So you have to go to understanding the patterns. And my process for that is to observe, don't judge, just see what is. Then name it, personify it, and then reflect on that. So you've taken the problem out of the domain where it originated into, say, a story, right? Focus on that. And more often than not, that story, then that archetypal story, will give you insight, as will understanding what's going on at that deeper pattern reading level. The other, I would say, because we're talking about sort of tough times, shadow as it's often called, is to, I hate to say this, but jump into it, fully participate in it. I'm not sure that avoidance helps. Confront it, move into it. And then I mentioned this about confidence, step into that, knowing that you don't know. So, but don't not step, right? So don't, I need to plan, I need to figure a way out of this, blah, blah, blah. No, take that first step with a vision. My vision could be as simple as I don't want to be in the situation I'm in, or it could be something else. Take the step and then have confidence or build confidence that whatever the world throws you, you know how to deal with that, to take the next step. You almost certainly won't end up in the place that well, you might, but not in the place you envisioned, but you certainly won't end up getting there in the way you thought you would get there, right? So I would say those steps will greatly help, and can help you get through any of those kind of situations.
Is there a book, a movie, a show that helped you shape your career perspective over the years?
Um, well, I'm not sure the movie helps. My favorite movie is called Pan's Labyrinth. I'm not sure if you see that. It's kind of about the Spanish Civil War and the Greek god
I'll
Pan.
look it up.
Yeah, it's a great movie. The book was that inspired all of this that I'm doing now. Was written by a guy who I knew actually called James Hillman. He was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize, and the book's called Revisioning Psychology. And in that book, that's where he came up with those 4 steps I mentioned. Now, it was for therapy. It was not, and I'm not a therapist, but I sort of resold that book. And he's got a series of books I really am very impressed with. But I would say not just the book. I interviewed him. I met him a couple of times. He was probably the most impactful. And, I would not recommend reading his book. I would recommend reading mine because mine's way more approachable.
Yes, actually, yeah, we should also talk about your book. Your book. We haven't talked about it enough, but in coming minutes, let's talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah. No, my book's called the Inner Compass, and it's about discovering and using the powers you already have, right, to become wiser. And we mentioned the steps. I don't need to repeat that. And I think people will find it extremely inspiring for that reason, to take that step into this new skill set. And
Is it
then, go ahead.
is it available in Amazon, Barnes and Nobles?
Okay. I think it's in bookstores now too. So it's out there, The Inner Compass by S.J. King. If you look for Stephen King, you could be there all day. So
Yeah, it could be the different type of books. Yes. You're right. Yes, it's because in the American Business Podcast we start to talk about more published authors and books. So my reading style changed. So I nowadays I read more books from of our guests nowadays than mainstream books that we see some other places. So that keeps me really busy, and I learn a lot of things, which is great. It is because the American Business Podcast, we look at it as a business community. So anyone who is a guest in the American Business Podcast, we try to stay in touch and keep sharing the knowledge, information, and insights. And we have also the online networking event that we designed it as a business alliance. So it's sort of a virtual chamber of commerce or chamber of commerce and industry in a way. So that helps us stay in touch.
My history has been that business books can often be summarized in one or two chapters. They seem to have a lot of fluff around their key message, right? So if you read them, I feel sorry for you. But I do like Blinkist for that, because it summarizes them down to their key points. And so I listen to that quite a lot to keep up with business education.
Okay, well, what is the best business career advice that you ever received, and what is the worst business career advice that you ever received? Which one you want to go first? Best or the worst?
I'm struggling here. The best.
Okay.
Well, I guess the best advice is probably go with your gut, something in that realm. And the worst, probably takes some explanation, is follow your passion. So, and I know those two sound like the same thing, but
actually, no, they are not. I think you made a good point. Great point. Yeah. Actually, we talked about this couple episodes ago. We talked about, hey, go, just follow your passion. But well, you may have a passion, but you may not have a talent, right? So you have to have the talent, you have the knowledge, background. So just because I have a passion for support, and if I have no talent, then when am I gonna go, right?
The Campbell calls it following your bliss, and I've always been, that would be great if you know what it is.
Yes.
I think that if you ask a lot of people what their passion is, it's what they've been successful at. So if that were true, then step into your life.
That may be true too. You're right. That's true. Right? Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, that's my passion. Because you don't know. My son, for instance, he's at university. He doesn't know. So why do people keep pushing it? What are you going to study? What do you want to be when you grow up? What is it you're going to do? No, it's going to come. So that would be the two, probably. That was a hard one. Sorry, I just couldn't. I should have had that answer down.
No, that was good. I appreciate it. What is your career advice for the next generation professionals?
I don't know. Other than don't study computer science, the next generation understand AI and complement it with personal wisdom. I would say. And I don't know if I have to, I think I'd be repeating myself if I said more.
Now
But I think,
this is important because these are changing times with AI, right? So it's
yeah,
evolving, and since when while it's evolving, it's also started to change the job market, right? So a new
well,
graduate coming in.
yeah, you're absolutely right, Kevin. I remember this is again probably controversial, but I only teach at the MBA level. I don't like to teach undergraduates, and part of the reason is I think almost 30% of students in America study business at the undergraduate level. And when they come to me at the MBA level, I teach 500 classes. They can barely write. They can barely create a decent argument. A lot of them, they're not prepared to go into business, frankly, even though they have a degree in business. And the best, on the other side, coming back to what I was saying, the best typically are people that have done, well, anything, medicine, psychology, philosophy, any of those kind of things, because they're more rounded and they're able to think and build an argument that they can then take into business. So, and we could, for another day, but we could get into the whole structure of the MBA curriculum, which is
Yes, actually, yeah, I'm actually very close to academia, and I get similar feedback from professors and other academics. And some students, for example, things that I hear, for example, some students use it actively, AI generated reports, assignments.
yeah,
So they have a style, right? So if I have a certain way of writing for your, let's say, class, right? So you know my style, like more or less how I write, like my style, like you have an understanding. So the next time that I write it, it's completely different. And you can tell this is not me, right?
yeah,
So because of that, some of them they already started with AI. Now they cannot turn into like the self-writing because they know the professors will figure it out.
right,
So it started wrong, and they cannot fix it. The other one is I met with some academics, for example. The first thing that they do is write me an essay right here, something, right?
yeah,
So you get the style right there from the beginning, day one. You know how they write. Then if they go for AI, then you'll figure like all these things. Like these things we didn't know it before, right? We never seen it before. So now with AI, so this is affecting academia, learning, students. Like things are really changing pretty quickly.
right, right. So, I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, so for instance, when you teach finance, I think probably 2/3 of that could go, right? And I'm not sure that AI should be positioned as a punishment in the way you see it, but you also need to have critical thinking. I think there's a few interesting ways to do that. One is teams. Form the students into groups or teams, put them on a project. They'll judge one another,
Okay.
right? Right. And the other is presentations. I'm not big for long essays in the first place. I mean, why even move into the domain where you know they could write it with AI if you don't have to?
Okay, that's a good point.
So as opposed to, oh, I'm going to test you on that. I mean, that's so classic.
Yes, I mean all these stories. I mean it's just unbelievable. Times are
Yeah.
changing. I think also to your point. See, you just gave a good example in terms of like how it can be or should be, and I think the education system also will be evolving in this sense because see, we come to a point. Some people they question universities. Some
Yeah.
people they question higher education. Do I really need it?
Yeah.
Oh, we have examples such and such, became billionaire, millionaire, didn't go to school or dropped, like all these stories, right? And there are examples. I mean, when they show these examples, it's hard to really counter from that
Yeah.
point of view. But then there has to be an education too, that we know it too. Then I think the only reasonable outcome should be just the education system must keep up. I mean, we see some universities, some colleges, they try to catch up with it. I think that's the only way with the AI. They have to include it into the education system in some form
Yeah.
that, like students learn how to use it, combine it with their educational system. And some sort, I'm not sure, like it's still like changing, I'm still observing, but it looks like that's where it is going.
Well, I think at the macro level, the problem with because I was part of it, the problem with business education is they should learn from medicine and law. If you go to medical school, the people teaching you are the best surgeons, practitioners. You go to business school, the people teaching you are somebody that spent their life in academia, and they've read their way into teaching, right? And so a lot of the problems you're referring to, Kevin, could be addressed if they had a similar model, where the people teaching in business schools were the top practitioners, right? Same
Practitioners.
in law. Same in law. The problem, so how would you fix that? You've got to change the accreditation system, because these schools, because in law and medicine, they are doctors, right? They already have they have academia credibility and practitioner. So you have to change that in the business world so that
Yes. Yes.
otherwise they can't get in the door.
And just to support your point, from my education, I can just give an example. For example, there is a big difference between a professor who has done these like hands-on experience and just the academics, like never been in business before, never taken a risk before, knows the academics, knows the fundamentals, theories, all the history. There is a big difference. And so my background is marketing, right? So the first time when I learned marketing in my undergrad, I hated it.
Yeah.
I hate because it was so like they never given me an example of like from real life. Marketing is life. It's just life, right? But all these like like marketing makes 4P, like as if like they're teaching me like physics. This is life. Give me examples. Let me see it, understand it. No, I understood it when I have my master's in marketing because I had great professors, and they were all like practitioners.
Right. That's great. But I think that it's interesting.
It was amazing.
A lot of these programs have like a specialty in the MBA, right? And one of them is entrepreneurship. What the hell does that mean? What exactly and who exactly?
Who is teaching?
Yeah.
Right.
And I could help. I did help build a curriculum around that, but I don't think it really did it. Because a specialty in entrepreneurship, let's go start a company. That's the curriculum.
Yes. That is true.
And build the support systems around it. And we'll answer your questions as you step into them. It comes back to what we said earlier about stepping into something as opposed to trying to plan your way through it. So
yes. These are important conversations.
well, your question was good earlier, like the entrepreneurship, was it 90% fail or something? So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that failure? I've never heard that conversation come up from VCs or, venture forums or something. Because it's kind of, you don't want to talk about it, because the assumption is we just want to bet on the winners. But that could be a big learning right there.
Actually, yes. I mean, the failure is actually a learning opportunity.
Right, exactly.
But just there has to be an environment to share that learning.
Right.
That is, I think.
I think we're going on.
Okay, well, let's continue our conversation. So in the American Business Podcast, in this episode, is there any question that you had expected me to ask you, but I didn't ask you? But something came to my mind, though. I can ask you something additional, if that's okay. So what made you write your book? Why did you write it?
Well, I have, it was actually backwards. I have 20 years of experience teaching. In addition, and so every class I would have 50, 60 students that would go off and use these practices I've talked about to understand companies, real companies. They go out into the real world and they would talk about marketing. They would have to come back and they would have to say, what's the archetypal pattern at work in this company? So for instance, I did some work on Starbucks years ago, and I won't go through all the steps, but it turns out Starbucks is a story of nurturance. Starbucks brought in a new CEO some time ago from Walmart. He played Paul McCartney music mindlessly. He added gum. He turned off Wi-Fi after a certain time. He made the furniture more uncomfortable. He increased the efficiency of coffee making. All of those are what any good MBA business person would do, right? The results went backwards. Howard Schultz come back in and actually slowed down coffee making, turned back on Wi-Fi. And because what you had here was a dissonance between efficiency and nurturance. When you say it like that, it's like, oh, I get it, right? So I think that's where the answer to your question lies, is to have that depth to see through the surface.
Okay, well, we have a little tradition in the American Business Podcast. I have a question for you coming from our previous guest, and I'll ask you to leave me a question for our coming guest, if that's okay. Okay, so the question from our previous guest is, how much of your business will be coming from global markets in 2026? And, based on your estimates.
Well, we're in the coaching business, and we just signed a contract with a company in Bangladesh.
There you go. Okay.
However, and we also talked about marketing, right? And being Facebook and online and all the rest of it. I think our market is English speaking, but I don't really have any notion of boundaries other than that.
Mm-hmm.
We can deal with the time zones. We can deal. So I guess the answer to the question is I have no idea. And nor do I particularly care. Right? It's not something I need to worry about in our business, I guess.
Understood.
I actually I guess my question for the next
guest. Okay, yeah. Let's go for it.
Is how do you plan for the future while staying adaptable to the present?
Okay, we'll make sure to ask that question. Thank you very much. Any question that you would like to ask me in the American Business Podcast?
No, this was fun. Thank you very much.
Well, pleasure is all mine. Would you like to share your contact information, company contact information with the audience and listeners, those who would like to continue this conversation with you?
Sure. The coaching is apexceocoaching.com, and my personal is called surfacingwisdom.com. And you can get to all the other things that are going on between those two.
Okay, sounds good. Stefan, thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule. I enjoyed the conversation. That was very insightful. And thank you for sharing your professional wisdom and insights with us.
Thank you, man. Take care.
Okay. You too. Thank you very much. Bye now. Bye. And to our audience and to our listeners, we'll be right back after a short break. Thank you very much. Would you like to start your business podcast? We are here to help. My name is Kevin Devecioglu. I am the founder and host of the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. When we started the American Business Podcast on February 28, 2025, we had only one mission in mind: to promote, support, and uplift American businesses, nonprofits, manufacturers, and the American business community. Within our first 6 months, we managed to pass 100,000 YouTube subscribers, and we received YouTube Silver Award. This is an important award. It shows our dedication to American business and to the American Business Podcast viewers, subscribers, and American Business Podcast community. Now you can have your own branded company podcast within the American Business Podcast network. You can promote your company, your products, your services, and you'll have instant visibility in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast viewers, subscribers, and followers. You can promote your company, your products and services. You can educate and inspire businesses, and individuals. More importantly, you can tell your story, your brand story. How did you get started? What makes you different? And how you are helping your customers and communities. As you know, in the American Business Podcast, I've been talking to more than 100 American businesses. Each business has a story that is inspiring and motivational. I know your business also has a great story which is motivational and inspiring. It is time for you to have your business podcast within the American Business Podcast Network. We help you start your business podcast and we help you grow your business. This is a great opportunity for you to be visible in the marketplace in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast viewers and subscribers. And this is a great opportunity for us to fulfill our mission to promote, support, and uplift American businesses. Please send us an email and let's get the conversation started. It is PaaS@americanpodcast.tv. Business podcasting as a service. Powered by the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. The American Business Podcast is America's fastest growing educational business podcast network in this age of AI. My name is Kevin Devecioglu. I'm the founder and host of the American Business Podcast, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you, working with you, and help you grow your business with your new business podcast. Thank you very much. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Reddit. Do you know the biggest challenge nowadays for American small businesses? That is visibility. That's why we partner with Reddit, Reddit for Business. Reddit has more than 400 million weekly visitors. Furthermore, Reddit is reliable. Reddit is the number one source for real reviews on products, services, and brands. There is a promotion going on. When you spend $500, you'll get $500 in ad credit from Reddit. True story. I am a Reddit user. Anytime I need feedback or review for a product or service, I go to Reddit. I get the real answers, real feedback from real people, from Reddit communities. Scan this QR code and sign up for Reddit advertising for your business. Get the visibility for your company, your products and services. Scan the QR code and sign up today. Thank you for your support. Support for the show comes from Yelp. You know, I've been talking to more than 100 business owners in the American Business Podcast. Do you know the biggest problem for small businesses nowadays? It is visibility. That is why you should sign up and list your business on Yelp for Business. I have the QR code on the screen, and when you scan the QR code, the form will show up on your screen and you can sign up on the registration form. It comes with free trial with no obligation. Make it easy for your customers to find you. Do you know there are more than 70 million customers visiting Yelp website looking for services from businesses just like yours, restaurants, home services, professional services, and many other businesses are being searched on Yelp on daily basis. That's a great opportunity. If you list your business on Yelp, you'll be findable, searchable, and you'll be visible. When you are visible, when your customers are able to find you, you're in business. You can get opportunities, you can get leads, you can build a healthy and profitable pipeline. Consider Yelp for Business. Scan the QR code, sign up, and start your free trial. It comes with free trial. Very comfortable, no obligation. List your business and start getting the results and enjoy the benefits of Yelp Business. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone is bringing you foreign languages. Learn from the experts, choose your plan to get started, sign up today. New Year is coming, and if your New Year resolution is learning a foreign language, Rosetta Stone is the choice for you. Rosetta Stone is offering you a long list of foreign languages: French, Italian, German, Chinese, Greek, Turkish, Polish, Portuguese, Vietnamese, and many more languages are available for you to get started today. Scan the QR code on the screen and sign up for Rosetta Stone and enjoy the learning experience of foreign language. Thank you very much. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Wizen. At the American Business Podcast, we always talk about continuous improvement and professional development. That is why we partner with Wizen, trust the nation's largest network for tutoring. Wizen helps you find the tutor that you need in many different subjects: chemistry, computer, foreign languages, geometry, English, music, physics, reading, SAT, science, and many more. I have the QR code on the screen that you can sign up and start searching for tutors and enjoy the learning experience and continuous improvement as we always talk about in the American Business Podcast. Scan the QR code and sign up for Wizen today. Thank you very much. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Just Answer. Real help from real experts 24/7. Experts such as lawyers, doctors, veterinarians, computer technicians, home improvement experts, mechanics, personal tax experts, computer technicians, and many other experts are available for you 24/7 on Just Answer. You'll get your answers anytime, during the day, during the night, 24/7, and you'll get your answers from reliable sources. You can scan the QR code on the screen and you can sign up for Just Answer. The answers you need at a price that is right. Scan the QR code and sign up for Just Answer today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Otter AI. Otter is the AI note taker that builds your knowledge and powers your workflow with transcription, automated summaries, AI chat, and more. Get your AI-powered assistant for meeting notes, tasks, and more. Scan the QR code on the screen and sign up today. Otter AI is the latest note taker that you can utilize, and you can set your meetings, you can take your notes, and you can also set up your follow-up actions automatically with the help of the Otter AI. Scan the QR code and sign up today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Norton, advanced tech for advanced threats. Sign up today. Norton offers you different packages to completely save and secure your data and your devices. Each Norton package comes with antivirus, malware, ransomware, and hacking protection capabilities. In addition, there is VPN, private internet connection, dark web monitoring, and parental control capabilities in each package. There is a promotion going on right now. I have the QR code on the screen. You can get up to 60% discount if you sign up right now for one of the packages. There are packages of Deluxe, Standard, Plus, and Select. Depends on the number of devices that you like to connect, as well as the features that you like to utilize when you are using Norton. I have the QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, you'll see the different packages and options available for you. Scan the QR code, go to the page that you like to sign up, pick the package that you like to use, and sign up today. True story. I am also using Norton on daily basis, and I know all of my devices are secure every single day thanks to Norton. Scan the QR code on the screen and start using Norton today and save your devices and your data in a safe and secure manner with the help of Norton. Thank you very much and enjoy the experience. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Opus Virtual Offices. Opus is offering you more than 600 different locations in the US. It is $99 a month. This includes prestigious business address, professional live call answering, personalized call transferring, business phone number, local phone number, professional mail services, voicemail converted to email. I have the QR code on the screen. You can sign up for Opus today. Opus is offering you hundreds of locations in the US that you can pick, any of them that you like. And you can start having your virtual office today. Please scan the QR code and start using Opus Virtual Offices today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Invicta. Invicta is known for its stylish watches, both for men and women. Invicta is offering unisex watches as well. I have a confession. I am an Invicta fan and I've been using Invicta watches for many years. This one is 57mm Invicta watch, automatic. Because it's black color, it goes well with my business outfit. And because it's automatic, I don't need batteries for my watch. It gets the energy by me just moving the watch from my wrist. So it creates energy and it can go pretty much non-stop. I have the QR code on the screen, and when you scan the QR code, you'll be able to see the Invicta watch collection. And you can pick the one that you like based on the color, style, and technology. Please scan the QR code, start shopping today, and join me using Invicta. I'm sure you'll like it. Thank you very much for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from iStock. iStock is offering you the latest visuals for your marketing projects, advertising projects, and other projects that need communicative latest visuals. Right now, iStock is offering you 20% discount if you start shopping today. I have the QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, you can start your shopping experience with iStock immediately. Whether you are looking for visuals designed by professionals or you are looking for visuals designed by AI, iStock is offering you all these options starting today. Please scan the QR code and start shopping visuals on iStock website. Remember, there is 20% discount when you start shopping today. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Gemini Trust. Gemini makes crypto simple. Find, trade, and buy over 70 different coins, including Bitcoin and Solana, on the best cryptocurrency platform. Gemini Trust. Start trading crypto here. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code and start signing up today. Because they have a great customer service, you can reach out to them and get assistance 24/7. Scan the QR code and start trading crypto on Gemini. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Anywhere Apps by Kirk Consulting, now Cherry Baker. It is time to digitize and automate your business processes. Anywhere Apps designed for small and mid-sized companies as well as enterprise-level companies to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Today, I'd like to talk about one of the Anywhere apps that's very popular in the US. It is called Nonprofit Management Anywhere. If you are a nonprofit and you like to manage your donations, volunteers, fundraising events, your grants, and other documents for compliance and operational purposes, consider Nonprofit Management Anywhere. It is a completely cloud service. You can start using it today with no need for local installation on your server or on your local laptop and computers. It is user-friendly and it's easy to deploy, and you can start using it today. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code and you can learn more about Anywhere apps, including nonprofit management anywhere. Well, there is more. If you'd like to talk to me directly about Anywhere apps, you can just send me an email directly, kevin@kerconsulting.com. Anywhere apps are modern, they are easy to use, they are affordable, practical, and more importantly, that's designed for you to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Scan the QR code or just send me a direct email, kevin@kerconsulting.com. Thank you for your support. It is time to sign up for the online monthly networking event, networking and podcasting together. It is called Connection America Business Alliance, partnered and powered by the American Business Podcast. During this unique business networking event, you'll be able to meet with other business professionals. At the same time, you will be in the American Business Podcast in front of thousands of business-minded YouTube subscribers, viewers, and listeners of the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. Connection America online monthly networking events are interactive. You'll be able to meet with other seasoned business professionals, and at the same time, you'll be able to interact with viewers and audience. That's a unique event. It is because it's podcasting plus networking. If you are in business, you should be networking. And if you're not networking, you are losing business every single day. That is why we created online monthly networking event called Connection America Business Alliance, CABA in short. Scan this QR code and sign up today. When you scan the QR code, you'll see the list of coming monthly online networking events. Pick the one that works for you and sign up. We have limited seating, and today is the great day to sign up for online business networking event. Networking plus podcasting. That is a unique online business networking opportunity. You can introduce yourself, your products and services, and you'll be able to network with other business professionals live on the American Business Podcast. Scan the QR code and sign up today. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Anywhere Apps by Kerr Consulting, now Cherry Baker. Anywhere Apps are designed to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Anywhere Apps are a family of business software products. There are more than 40 products available for business process digitization and automation. Anyware's apps are easy to use, they are standalone, and they are also ready to integrate with your ERP and accounting software systems. Today, I'd like to promote APS Anywhere, which is part of Anywhere Apps software product portfolio. APS Anywhere, designed for manufacturing companies. Whether you are a process manufacturing company, food and beverage, chemical, and more, or a discrete manufacturing company, automotive, aerospace, electronics, and more. APS stands for Advanced Planning and Scheduling. APS Anywhere is ready to streamline, digitize, and automate your production planning process. As you know, in manufacturing, production planning is not easy. There are always some bottlenecks and challenges. You need to put together your resources, 3M, man, machine, and material. APS Anywhere designed to streamline this process and automate it for you. It is a modern system. It runs on cloud. It also has deployment options for installation on your server or your private cloud environment. The system is scalable. It comes with unlimited number of production planning scenarios, meaning before you execute, you can see the financial implications and timing of your production planning on APS Anywhere. APS Anywhere comes with a very colorful and easy-to-use Gantt chart so that you can see your production planning on a colorful and easy-to-operate Gantt chart before you finalize your production planning purposes. The system is also integratable. It is ready to integrate your ERP system, MRP system, and other systems whenever there is a need. It is designed for manufacturing companies by manufacturing experts. It also comes with ready-made reports if you like to utilize. Furthermore, on APS Anywhere, you can also use demand forecasting function, meaning based on your past manufacturing and sales figures, the system can predict what will be your demand in the future. This will help you manage your supply chain in a more productive manner. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code and you can learn more about APS Anywhere as well as Anywhere app software system in general. There is more. I have a direct line for you. You can send me a direct email, kevin@careconsulting.com. kevin@careconsulting.com, and I'll be happy to hear from you about Anywhere apps, APS Anywhere, or any Anywhere apps that is offered by Anywhere apps by Care Consulting, now Cherry Baker. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Brother. From large companies to small offices, Brother has powerful printers and all-in-ones for your growing business. Scan the QR code and find the best printers for your needs. When you scan the QR code, you can see the entire collection, business office equipment collection of Brother USA, and pick the one that you like. You'll find printers, labels, toners, all-in-ones, and other office equipment available on Brother website when you scan the QR code. Scan the QR code and start shopping for Brother office equipment today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Anywhere Apps by Care Consulting, now Cherry Baker. Anywhere apps are business software systems, and they are designed to digitize and automate your business processes. Today, I like to focus on contract management anywhere as part of Anywhere Apps software product portfolio. Contract management anywhere is an AI-powered vendor, customer, and legal contract management software system. It is modern, it runs on cloud, it's easy to use, and it's scalable. Because of the AI capabilities of the system, software comes with an AI chatbot that you can get your answers about any contracts that you have. Renewal dates, amounts, start dates, and other details can be learned from the system in a conversation. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code to learn more about contract management anywhere, as well as Anywhere apps in general. There is more. I have a direct email for you. You can send me a direct email about Anywhere apps and contract management anywhere, kevin@careconsulting.com. I'll be happy to help you and help you schedule a demo session with Team Anywhere apps. Looking forward to hearing from you, and I hope you enjoy Anywhere apps. Thank you for your support. Support for the show comes from Anywhere Apps by Care Consulting, now Cherry Baker. Anywhere apps are business software products designed for small and mid-sized organizations. They are ready to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Today, I like to promote Asset Management Anywhere. Asset Management Anywhere is a CMMS software system. CMMS stands for Computerized Machine Maintenance Management System. It is designed to help you manage your assets. Your assets may be your machinery, equipment, your buildings, trucks. You can register all of them on Asset Management Anywhere. Asset Management Anywhere comes with unlimited asset management capabilities. There is no limit, there is no upcharge. Moreover, you can perform your break and fix, preventive and predictive machine maintenance management operations on Asset Management Anywhere. If you have a fleet of trucks, you can also manage maintenance operations on Asset Management Anywhere. If you are performing facility management for plumbing, electrical, and other facility management needs, you'll also enjoy the benefits of Asset Management Anywhere. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code to learn more about Asset Management Anywhere and Anywhere apps in general. There is more. I have a direct email for you. You can send me an email at kevin@careconsulting.com to ask your questions, also to schedule a demo, and I'll be happy to coordinate it with Team Anywhere apps to show you the systems as well as address your questions. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and I hope you enjoy Anywhere apps. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being with me in the American Business Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest in the American Business Podcast, please send us an email, guestbooking@americanpodcast.tv. If you'd like to sponsor ABP, if you'd like to advertise in our podcast episodes, please send us an email, growyourbusiness@americanpodcast.tv. You can advertise your company, your products, your services, and your brands in the American Business Podcast. Please send us an email, growyourbusiness@americanpodcast.tv. You can also visit our website, americanpodcast.tv, to learn more about the American Business Podcast as well as our coming streaming schedule. Now you can have your branded company podcast within the American Business Podcast network. We call it Business Podcasting as a Service, PaaS. If you're interested in starting your business podcast in the American Business Podcast network, please send us an email, paas@americanpodcast.tv. As part of our international expansion, we started international podcast editions. When you scan this QR code, it'll take you to our YouTube page. And please go to the podcast section in our YouTube page and you'll see our international podcast editions. They are ABP Espanol, ABP German, ABP French, ABP Hindi, ABP Portuguese, and ABP Turk, that you can listen to American Business Podcast in 6 different foreign languages. Okay, well, we are in the process of increasing our presence in social media. If you're on LinkedIn, please scan this QR code and subscribe, follow us on LinkedIn. If you're on TikTok, please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our TikTok page. Please subscribe. Please follow us. If you are on Instagram, please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our Instagram page and please subscribe. If you are on Facebook, we'll also appreciate your help and support. Please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our Facebook page and please follow us. And finally, we are on IMDb, next to other reputable media productions. Please scan this QR code, go to our IMDb page, and please rate us on IMDb. We'll truly appreciate your help and support. I'd like to thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. I'm looking forward to seeing you in coming the American Business Podcast episodes. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. The American Business Podcast, America's fastest growing educational business podcast network in this age of AI. Thank you very much for your help and looking forward to seeing you. Thank you.